this is everything dog driven of the building for Leader Dogs for the Blind. Ultimately, inside the Canine Center, it's about 100,000 square feet. We renovated it, it's been about 8 years ago now. Renovation took us 3 years, and it's a $14.5 million renovation.
Wow.
For our Canine Center. So in that, the first thing we did was we asked our team, what do we want in a new facility? And from there, we got amazing different ideas and thoughts. And then we brought it into scope of, okay, what can we actually afford and do,
Right.
Perspective of it. And then finally, we're able to start putting it in production. So we did construction in 3 different phases. So we did that so we could stay in full operation. So we just shifted like the breeding program over into the care area or the veterinary space into a different space. But what was cool, 3 years of construction is painful, but when you're actually getting through that construction, you start having your ideas come to life. It feels pretty darn good of like,
Oh, yeah.
wow, this was the
Yeah.
purpose. This is what it's all about coming through. So as we go touring around, I'm going to try to do it in chronological order. We'll go through our vet clinic. I'm not sure what they have going on, so we probably won't be able to go inside because they might be doing spay and neuters, but I'll be able to show you a window of, tell you a few different things about that. Then we'll go past where our breeding stock dogs stay when they're on property, and then we'll be able to see where our puppies stay, and then we'll see the dogs in training aspect of it. So
Okay.
I'll try to keep it short depending, but as I said, please ask away questions.
Okay.
I want to answer every question you might have, and if you can't stay for the whole time, no worries. We'll make sure we can get you out and get you going where you need to go.
Okay.
Going through. Okay, so
Ready, Joy?
please come on forward, you guys.
This-
So in the lobby here, there's a few different pieces that are pretty cool. So ultimately, when we did the renovation, we set it up so that we had a conference room to start tours in. We have different rooms for like if puppy raisers coming in for a vet appointment. Those are kind of just like you see at a different veterinary offices. So it's examination rooms. And then also the other piece is a puppy raiser. When I was a 13-year-old kid, they met me at the door as I was turning in my puppy and said, "Thank you very much." And I remember that to this day.
Yeah.
And so we changed some of our processes from then. Now we have truly a canine receiving room where you get that chance to say goodbye to the
That's
puppy you
good,
raised
that's
and
That's
go through that
sweet.
whole conversation aspect of
Good.
it. So
Nice.
a lot of really
That's hard.
That's
A lot of
lovely.
tissues in there?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of tissue
It's
boxes.
lovely called the cry room. So yes.
Oh, that must be so
Very, very
hard.
good question. So as we go through, ultimately we're going back into the area where our dogs are at. I do have to ask, these dogs are all in training, so no petting. Apologize.
Yeah, no
but please come on back. I have the door hinge on the left-hand side.
You want to take Joy? I'll hold the door.
Here's my.
You want to hold the door?
Got me. Okay, have it all right?
Okay, Norm. Let me get Norm.
Okay. And you have my right elbow. Doing okay?
I got you.
Okay. And we're just going down the first hallway here. We call this Rochester hallway. And I'm going to take the whole group forward until we get to the vet clinic. So
Okay.
we actually have a puppy raiser that's just turning in their puppy up there.
Oh,
So
really?
we're going to stop right here for a moment. And to your right is actually the surgery room, and there's 2 big windows that you'd be pointing through, that you're looking into the surgery
And what do
room.
you see in there?
So ultimately we are just outside of our veterinary clinic, and this portion of it is actually our surgery room. So surgery wise, ultimately primarily the surgeries that we're doing is spaying and neuters. Because when our dogs come in from the puppy raiser, the first thing we're going to do is, okay, is that a dog that we want for our breeding colony? And if it's not a dog for breeding colony, then we're going to spay and neuter them so they can go into training aspect of it. So Dr. Smith,
So how do
he's-
you determine that?
Okay, so for breeding colony, one, we're looking at lineage because we want to make sure we have the best lines coming through. So when before that dog is even coming in, we're like, oh, we know this is the lineage of dog that's coming in. And then if that's potentially a lineage we want to pull, then we do additional tests, both medical, making sure the cardio is good, making sure eyesight, hips, elbows, all those things. And then past that, we're also doing a behavioral test because breeding stock dogs are our future. So ultimately, we want to have 4 litters for every mom dog. So that could be 50
So,
pups.
so what are you looking for?
So in medical wise, it's pretty straightforward.
Right.
So like a lab, if you look at national average, 20% of all labs have hip or elbow dysplasia.
Okay.
We've been able to breed away from that. We have our colony down to 4%.
Wow.
Wow.
So huge
That's
difference.
really good.
And then you times that by thinking about we're having 400 puppies each year. So 10 to 15%, that means about 60 extra dogs.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. So behavior-wise of it, we are not looking at field labs. We don't need a dog that is going to go jump off the dock and find that duck. We need a dog that is willing to work, but when it's not working, able to settle. The biggest compliment we can have is ultimately that dog going into a restaurant with one of our clients, and when that client gets up to leave, the table next to him says, "Oh, I didn't know you had a dog with you."
Exactly.
Aspect of it.
Right.
So that's
so
our
must
goal.
settle quickly.
Yeah, settle and want to work. So as a leader dog, as a guide dog, they have to be able to get up and go, but also be able to settle aspect of it.
So that's what you're looking for when you
Yes.
behavior.
Yeah. So there's a 50 question temperament or behavior test that we do, but that's a good example or feeling of those questions that go through on it.
Thoroughly tested.
Yes. So if they're not taken into breeding, ultimately veterinary clinic wise, we're going to be going through every dog, making sure they're happy and healthy, making sure that they can become a leader dog. And then after that, we're going to be spaying and neutering. So in the room that is right to my left, your guys' right, there are 2 surgery tables in there. The room is about 20 foot wide, 20 foot deep. And then so we can have 2
But
of
you
our
see it?
veterinarians
Yeah,
doing
you see the
surgery at the
tables,
same
you just
time.
don't see. There's
And
nobody
then
in
past
it.
Right.
that,
Yeah.
there's a few other cool things in that. So Oakland University is pretty close to us here. Part of their capstone project for their engineers, they've done different projects for us. So they actually built our surgery tables. And so they came to us and said, "What do you want in a surgery table?" And our veterinarian said, "We want raise and lower. We want it to tilt to what surgery we're doing. We have these different gases or what we have to do for putting them under anesthesia, those aspects." And then they went home, and as an engineering student, it's pretty cool. You're making something real
Yeah.
to put into use, and then pretty cool for us because they donated it to us. So 100% free.
That's the best
To our
part.
specs.
Yeah.
And they've done other things like they actually changed the igloo cooler into incubator. So sometimes we'll have a mom dog that might have a singleton pup. We'll do a C-section. And as we're transporting that puppy back to that host home, that incubator makes sure it's the right heat, right airflow, all those pieces of it. So a lot of really, really cool projects gone through. So our facilities are amazing. We built it to what we need and what we ultimately to do our job, but it always comes down to people. And so we have 3 veterinarians on our staff. Dr. Smith's been here 40 years. Dr. Wilson's been here just about 20. And then we just hired a phenologist. I slaughtered how to say that, but ultimately it's a veterinarian that specializes in breeding aspect.
Wow.
So the best of the best is what
Oh,
we're
yeah.
bringing through.
Like I said,
in,
Harvard.
the future. Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. So other rooms that are inside the vet clinic, we won't go inside because they're probably looking at different dogs and that aspect of it. But also there's wet and dry tables. So as a vet's giving a field exam, checking them out. Wet table would be prepping them for surgery, so shaving their belly or that aspect of it. And then we also have a room for ultrasound, how many babies in that belly. And then endoscopy, so labs are known for eating things. So endoscopy room is all about what did that lab eat and how am I getting it back out aspect of it. So, so those are kind of the different rooms that we have. And another piece that's pretty cool to talk about is when you think about, okay, if you have a pet dog, you take it to your veterinarian. Usually it takes a whole day experience to set up a spay or a neuter. So for us, these are all our dogs. We own them. So the vets take the list. They pick out 8 dogs that they want to see. And then of those 8 dogs, they'll say, okay, canine care team, bring those dogs to us. The vet techs will put them under anesthesia, prep them, and then our veterinarians will be doing the surgery aspect of it. So 8 dogs in 2 hours.
Wow.
So absolutely amazing efficiency-wise when you think about what they're doing. And then also Melissa was talking about the number of volunteers we have. So we have volunteer veterinarians that come in and actually do those surgeries for us. We also have students that come that are doing their externship as they're getting out of school for veterinary or vet tech school aspect of it. They come and get the rotation here. So
Can you tell me again how many volunteers we have?
900 volunteers
Wow.
on our staff, so absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so I'm going to take us towards our breeding. So our breeding stock dogs stay with our host homes, but when they're coming here, I'll talk about the few different reasons why they're on property as they come through.
There you go.
So we're going to sneak through another door
Right here?
and the door is hinged on your right. Got it okay?
Got it.
And if it's all right, I'll give you my right elbow
got you.
again, and we'll go forward. Okay. So we're going to walk past a few different breeding villages, and I'll stop in front of the mom dog breeding village. Is the one I'll talk a little bit more about. Okay, so we'll stop here, and on your left side, there's a window. So ultimately, there's 3 different breeding villages. So we have 70 breeding stock dogs in our colony, and of those 70 breeding stock dogs, they stay with host homes. So the 3 different villages we have is ultimately for those dogs when they're coming here either for breeding or as a perk to those breeding stock host homes. If they go on vacation, they'll board here. So the reason we want them to board here is we don't want any accidents, no rowdy labs coming in our colony that we weren't expecting aspect of it, as well as we know how we're going to care for our dogs. So this is one of our breeding villages.
Can you see the dogs in there?
Right now there's not a dog, there's one of our volunteers, and then to the left there are 5 suites or 5 cages, and the volunteer's bringing a dog in actually.
Yep.
Going to let them relieve first, going in there. So these are the dogs, mom dogs are here for actually breeding aspect of it. So natural breeding is absolutely the best way to breed. That is the best for conception rate, as well as it's the best for making sure litter size and a few other things that we watch and look for. So as he's the room he's going into is the relief room. So there's an indoor relief room on the back side of there. And then there's a room right off of this small room, which is called the enrichment room. That's actually for breeding. So that's the honeymoon suite.
The honeymoon suite. Yeah.
Light music.
Yeah. The rose petals.
Yes.
Yep.
So talking about volunteers, ultimately how we have it set up is we have 4 different groups of volunteers that come in for our breeding dogs and our puppies. And so volunteers, just like a job, they say, okay, on Monday, my shift is from 1 to 4 o'clock. And every Monday they come in. And so for breeding stock volunteers, it's all about enrichment. Giving them that love.
Giving them some love.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so when you think about breeding, the worst thing to have is we don't want our dogs to be stressed out. So having that extra time and attention with our volunteers keeps
Can I
them
help?
happy,
Can you help me?
healthy, so that breeding happens well going through.
Was getting the peanut butter?
Yes,
Yep.
you got
Peanut
it.
You got it.
Do that.
Chew that tongue.
It's perfect.
Oh.
Aw. So
Um,
cool.
So other really nice pieces is we actually are taking a
What's
blood
more peanut
test
butter?
of when is the prime time to breed our females.
Yeah.
And then when we do breed them, we breed them twice. So if you talk to any breeders out there, they'll say I'm lying, but our conception rate is 90% of the time when our dogs are here for breeding, they're getting pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So our conception rate is amazing.
So it's a honeymoon suite?
Yes, you got
That's what's
it.
the trick.
Yes. Yep. So I'm going to take us a little bit further forward, and ultimately I'll stop where we have our cryo tanks, because we also do artificial breeding aspect of it. So there's going to be a little bit of a turn here. You're going to go to the right and follow me down the hallway. It's about 25 feet, a little bit further to the right. Doing well. Okay. And we are.
You can get on that.
We ultimately are circling around the veterinary clinic. So we're on the back side of the veterinary clinic. The veterinary clinic is our hub, and we're taking a left here. And we stop in front of the cryogenetics lab. So the cryogenetics lab is going to be right off to your straight forward there. And so we'll stop right here. And so in the cryo lab, ultimately there are 4 like manila tanks in there. There's liquid nitrogen in those tanks, and that's where we store frozen semen. So in that, we can bring back a lineage of dog over 100 years later if there's
Wow.
a successful line of dogs.
That's amazing.
So it is absolutely amazing looking at the impact or how we make sure we're keeping the right colony of dogs going through. The other thing, and people that sat with me at lunch, we talked a little bit about IWDR, which is the International Working Dog Registry. So having that frozen semen, we're also able to ship that to other guide dog schools or other service dog schools, as well as they're able to ship frozen semen to us. And then we artificially inseminate, and that's how we get the best lineage of dogs to be a leader dog coming through.
Wow.
Aspect of it. So
Fascinating.
absolutely amazing going through. So we're going to come forward a little bit further, and ultimately now we're in front of the male breeding stock. And so ultimately right now we do not have any male, or we have one male dog on property. So Mother Nature drives when mom goes into heat, and then when mom goes into heat, that's when we pull in the males to actually do the breeding. So typically a female is on property 5 to 7 days. A male is only here 3 to 5 days. And these are the best of the best. These are our best dogs that we have. But I have to say, as a breeding stock male, they know where they're going 5 miles before they get here. They do not have the best behavior and temperament.
Turbulence.
Yes.
Can you see them in here?
There's one just off to your right. There's actually two. You're doing, actually, if you come my way, there's another door right here. And there's a glass, and you're pointing it right at him. Perfect.
What color is?
He is a black lab. And there's another one
Hi,
off to
baby.
the right.
Off to the right.
Yep. You're into. Yep. Right
Sorry.
here's the window, and a little bit. Here, I'll try to tilt you a little bit. There you go. Got it.
And what color is
Might
it?
be your future baby's daddy.
Yes. Okay, so ultimately, colony-wise, it's pretty amazing other things that we have. So every village has a different air handling because we used to have the boys and females in the same room. It's called, oh, it's good for the libido. No, we're just stressing out our dogs the whole time saying, oh, I know why I'm here and I can't do it. So very, very different. The other big thing is our host homes are amazing, but when you have a colony of dogs that are staying out at different places, different people's homes, there's chances you're bringing something in with them. So that different air handling really reduces the potential of any cross-contamination or that issues coming through. Yes. Okay, so now we're going to bring forward a little bit further.
Go right there.
And we are up in front here. This is Purina Nutrition Center. So Purina donates 56,000 pounds of food to us every year. And we're going to stand.
6,000?
Yes. So ultimately, all the dogs on property, as well as all of our puppies raised in prisons, they donated all the food that we need to feed them as we're going through it.
So what do you see through here?
So this is ultimately this room was also donated and outfitted by Purina. So it's our food room for both our breeding stock dogs as well as our puppies while they're on property coming through. So there's stainless steel sinks, dishwashers, refrigerator. Other thing that's pretty cool in there is there's a few different bins that has toys in them for our different dogs. So Nylabone donates over $30,000 of toys to us, as well as Kong. And those are our two biggest toy that we have because we know that those toys are good for our dogs. And what's really cool about this is all three of them, those were our toys and our food of choice. And then we built relationships with them, and then over that relationship, they started donating it to us. Aspect
Wow.
of it. So, yeah, absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
Okay, so we are going to go to the puppy area next. So we're going to take a right around the corner here. There are a bunch of boots lined up on the right-hand side wall, so you might want to stay a little bit to the left-hand side wall so you don't run into the boots. So I hate to say this, but we're going to go into the puppy area. As we go in, I need everybody to hand sanitize.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, no, you cannot touch any puppies.
Oh, we don't have to wear.
These guys are all 7 weeks to 9 weeks old, so they're just newly on property, and they haven't got all their vaccinations and all that aspect of it.
Okay.
So hand sanitizer is on the right-hand side of the door.
All right, we're in the puppy room.
So ultimately
So-
there are 9 different suite areas. for our puppies to stay in. If you scan to your left, you'll see some puppies sleeping up in the daytime area. So
You can aim me.
not sure if you can quite see them, but a few cool things is for village-wise, this is where all of our puppies stay, and in that there's ultimately 8 different spaces that the litters stay in. So each space has a daytime and a nighttime space. So the nighttime space is about 10 by 10, and then there's a half wall that surrounds the whole space of that. And there's a reason why there's a nighttime and a daytime. So 7 a.m. when the team comes in, they open up this double gate and say, here, puppy, 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 take them to the daytime. And then it does not smell lovely at that time of the morning. They clean up and disinfect everything from the nighttime side. Other perks to that is we actually have garage doors, or glass garage doors that are straight ahead of us. Those open up and there's outdoor play areas for the puppies to play at. So today's a little too cool, so everything's closed down. But we get some nice days in summer, we open that up and they can play around and have fun
That's
in what they're
sweet.
doing.
You might notice that you can't really smell anything.
No, there's no
Absolutely.
smell at all. It's
Clean smell.
So clean.
Yeah. So the team is absolutely amazing, and they have so much pride in the work that they do. They work very, very hard at making sure every one of our dogs and the health of our colony is just taken care of to every aspect of it. So looking at the different villages, right now we do not have many puppies on property. I think we only have about 8. But I have seen it when we've had 62 puppies on property.
Is that right?
Yes, so very, very different feel of, just atmosphere going on. And then also think about the team-wise of it, their workflow absolutely changes. So with mom dogs going to eat, I've seen times when we have 20 adults on property, 63 days later, those puppies are born, and then they're going back to us. So December, we're going to have 70 puppies coming into us in the month of December.
So cute.
Absolutely. So there's 8 different spaces. In each space there's this kind of divided in half, which is a little half room that's about 10 to 15 foot square. And then there's another room right in front of that that's 10 to 15 foot. Inside of that room there's a corunda bed, which is like a plastic bed that's about 3 feet and it's about 4 inches off the ground. And then each one has different toys. So some of them have like a little slide in them, a water bowl, nylabone, Kong, some different steps. So each one has a different feel to what's in the room. Other big pieces, every corunda bed has a little blanket on top of it. So typically it's really, really cool because we actually start our training of our puppies at 4 weeks of age, and puppies don't lie. So when a person walks into the room, instead of crawling up the wall trying to get to the person, what they all do is they sit down, because that's how we train them to get attention.
No.
So when they see people, they all go boop, boop, boop,
They
all their
sit.
little bottoms are sitting. And they're, oh, good puppy, good puppy.
That little guy, he just set up.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Do you see any little ones here?
There are not any ones here. We will move down a little bit further, see if we have
Joy,
any
there's
more. There was a few when we
picture
first walked
in the
in.
dining room that has all 5 of them sitting in a row.
Oh.
So I'll show you when we get back and you can take a picture. of that.
Sweet.
Okay, we're gonna go this way.
Okay, we're coming
I'm
this
still
way right
filming,
now.
Joy. Is that okay?
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. No problem. Oh,
So for puppy viewing,
He's
we
not
have
a very good
puppy
driver.
viewing right here, where there are 2 yellow labs. It looks like they might be crosses, and they're snuggled up to each other on top of a bed with a blanket. Yes, straight in front of them.
Oh, yes, I'm getting it. Oh my gosh.
Hey Sherry, if you can describe on the video from my wife.
Yes, so there are 2 beautiful golden puppies that are
These puppies,
intertwined
yes. So
with
each space
one of the heads on the
lives
other's
together
tummy,
until they're
and he
young.
just sat up, so he's looking around like, why are y'all waking me up? And now he's just like,
They are just
hi.
snoozing away.
Oh,
They
now
are-
he's yawning. He's ready to go back. Oh, he laid back. Oh, yep, he's done.
About 8 pounds, 9 pounds right now. And so they look like they're pretty small. It's amazing how much they grow
Yes,
in the 2
they're
weeks
so
of being here.
adorable.
So I'm going to guess they're probably at 7 weeks of age. And over
Oh,
that
he's rolling
2
over.
weeks they're here, they'll put on another 3 to 4 pounds. So they grow quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
guide dogs.
Yes.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Oh, he's silly.
I get comfy.
I know. Aw, now he's on his back with paws up in the air, all four.
For us.
Now he woke up the other one.
Saying, keep down.
I know.
Much tough work atmosphere.
Oh, look at him. Oh, he's so cute.
Alright, so we'll continue on.
So cuddly.
And, there are
Oh,
three more
he's like, you wake us
puppies in the
up and now
next
you
space
leaving?
here.
Oh.
Two of them are black and one is yellow, and they're laying on a bed, sleeping together again. Aspect
So
of it.
adorable. Are they back there? I'm coming that way.
You gotta tell them what color you see. Want to get through
Sure. Oh no, I'm just. Oh, there's a black, two black, and a golden, and they're all cuddled up together
all
on the
cuddled
tandem.
up.
Yeah.
So
They're
we
sound
actually do
asleep.
have a nap time for our puppies.
Aww.
Yes, so I think we're right at the tail end of their nap time, so I don't break any rules.
Okay. We're disturbing their sleep, huh? Oh, now they're moving. They're moving now. Oh, one rolled over. Now all four paws up in the air with the belly showing. Yes, that was one of the black lab puppies.
Oh, I just love it. I want to eat them up.
I know, with a white belly. So cute.
White belly.
Yes.
So we're going to go through
Okay, would you like me
Right
to,
here.
Joy, would you like me to stop it now?
We made a complete
Yeah.
circle. We are just outside of the lobby where we started our tour at. And I'm going to take us to where some of the adult dogs are.
It's an open hallway here.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're going past the veterinary clinic again. But I have a few cool things I'll be able to show you as we get to the adult dogs as we go down this hallway.
Yep. Yep.
And right now, on your guys' left, there's two empty villages, and that's because those dogs have gone up to class, and we're waiting for the new dogs to start coming in for formal training aspect of it. So they got cleaned, disinfected, and now we're just waiting for new puppies to come in for formal training aspect of it. So they're empty. So we're continuing forward, and a few different cool things.
One
that
puppy
now-
still laying.
Okay, here's.
We're moving forward. We're going past the second village there. And then on your guys' left-hand side, as you continue going forward, there's a grooming and bathing station. So when you have 140 dogs going through formal training, there's always plenty of dogs that need a bath as you go through aspects of it.
The beauty
Which is
room.
pretty good.
What does it look like?
There's nobody in there.
There's nobody in there, so it's a stainless steel tub.
Yeah.
It has a stairway that has 2 steps on it,
Yeah.
and then inside of that tub it has like a kind of a stand, and then there's a faucet with a hose top that can removable going around to it. And we also use peanut butter a lot here. Yep, so we're
Bless
going
you.
straight ahead still. I apologize. It's a long hallway, but we are getting somewhere, I promise. Okay, so we're doing really, really well.
You're right in the middle of the hallway.
And as we come forward here, we have 2 villages. These villages were for the new dogs coming in. These are villages of dogs that are in current training right now aspect of it. So as we come up to the village here, you can either look in the village on your left or your right-hand side. So your right-hand side window's right there.
Sherry?
And then on the left is on this side.
Picture this. This is the name of the dog.
And then, so outside of each village, there is a sign that says Village 5 or Village 4. And then underneath that, it says each dog that is inside of the village aspect of it. So Angel is in Village 5 there. And next to it, it says Female Yellow Lab, Female Golden Retriever. So that's one of our crossbred dogs. So our puppy raisers actually name all of our puppies as they go through. So inside of these villages, ultimately there's a big enrichment space. which is
Yes,
a
I
big
see
open
a
space.
yellow lab that's barking
About
and wagging her
30
tail.
across to about
And then a
30
black
wide.
lab is in
And we
the
will
stall
slowly
next
let
to
all the
them
dogs in
and
that
just
village
sitting
out,
there
and
hanging,
they'll just play
chilling.
with each other for enrichment in that
Hi,
aspect.
baby.
It is awesome to watch them.
Hi. They look very happy.
So inside there's also
Hi,
16 suites.
16
So each
suites.
dog has its own suite. And then on the back end of the village, there are relief areas. So it's an indoor relief area for the dogs to park or potty at aspect of it.
Many,
Each
many
suite
dogs.
is 5 foot by 8 foot. They each have their own water system, so a liquor system, and then their own corunda bed, and then O'Neill or Kongs that we transition every single day as they go through. So
Liquor system?
yeah, it's sort of like a gerbil liquor.
They drink out
You
of
mention
a
that word, I go nuts, man.
They drink out of a tube.
Yes.
Yes, and y'all train them on doing that by peanut butter, I heard.
It is pretty amazing how quickly they pick it up. Most of them, you just touch it once, and they're like, "Yep, there's the water,"
Yep.
and they got it.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
If there's a few that don't get it, yeah, you put a little peanut butter on there, and they pick it up really, really quick going through. So other things that is pretty amazing. So care team, they come in at 6 a.m. They're feeding, relieving, medicating, all those pieces of it. And then ultimately the training team is coming in at 7:30. So the care team is getting them all set to go. And then the training team is coming in and they're loading them up to go out training for the day aspect of it. So each team has its own kind of time frame and structure, ultimately to maximize our training that we're with each of our dogs as they're going through. It is a well-oiled machine. It is amazing watching timelines and how everything goes through.
Just to hear how, there's all these moving pieces and you guys all just function so smoothly.
It is awesome. And the other piece of it too is everybody has their niche or their piece of making it work, but they all connect.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if our breeding host doesn't start that training at 4 weeks old, then those dogs aren't prepped for that puppy raiser, and each piece hands off to the next. So positive reinforcement training, that puppy sitting down to give that love or attention, think about as you're ready to cross a road, you're asking that dog to go forward, and the dog's saying, nope, there's a car taking a right-hand turn.
Such a cute
Absolutely
baby.
amazing thing about that dog making the right decision
Yes.
because of that positive reinforcement training as they're going
So
through.
you got a domino effect, everything's got.
I was
Absolutely.
also told that y'all have play experts that
Yes, enrichment experts, absolutely.
experts,
Yeah. So the care team does a lot of the enrichment, and then on the care team there are 2 different team members that actually support making different enrichment toys and things for the dogs to do. But we've actually found study-wise, it's actually dog-to-dog interaction is the best. That's the best enrichment dogs can have. Is just perspective. I can work 80 hours a week. But eventually I'm going to fold. I can't keep up with it.
Right.
And dogs are the same way. They just need that chance to be a dog.
Yeah.
They can't always be pushed because training to become a guide dog,
Yeah.
that's pretty strenuous. That's hard work on that. So letting them just play with other dogs
Yeah.
goes a long ways. And then again to our volunteers, we have 3 shifts of volunteers that come in. And ultimately those volunteers will sit with them in their village, in their suite, and just pet them, love on them. Or if that dog just wants to have them watch them chew on a bone, okay, that's what the dog wants. That's what they get. It's the dog's time going
that's
through.
awesome.
It is
It's
absolutely
very
amazing watching
important.
the
Yeah.
dogs
So
going
important.
through. So really, really cool. So village-wise, there's 5 villages in this hallway. There are 9 villages in the hallway that goes down just off the lobby there. Our villages all look the same. They're cookie cutter. So in that, 140 dogs, you hear a few dogs talking to us, but it definitely does not sound like 140 dogs.
No,
Right.
it's not.
Coming
That's
through.
actually remarkable.
Yeah.
And what we do is as dogs are coming in, it's a different environment than the puppy raiser's home. So every time a person sees that dog, when they have 4 on the floor, being calm and quiet, here's a treat. Here's a treat. And so every dog giving that right behavior and temperament, absolutely. So they learn very quickly of, hey, that's how I get my reward. And more importantly, the other piece of that is for trainers, they don't want to take a half hour, hours to bring that dog down to train them. They want that dog already ready in that training space. They will go out training. So if they're not all amped up, they're not all stressed,
So
it's
cute.
easier for them to go right to training in the work that they're doing aspect of it. So
That's
a lot of domino effect that supports.
excellent.
Good. And I have one more really cool room I think you guys will enjoy. So we're going to go backwards where we came from.
That smells so good.
This is our snack room.
where they make
So
the
this is where
harnesses.
all of our harnesses are made.
Beautiful.
aspect of it. So
You good?
again, I'm going to talk about volunteers for a moment.
Yeah.
So we
Yes,
have
that is
3
so amazing.
volunteers
This is the
that
harness.
ultimately make up all of our harnesses for us.
So beautiful. Yeah, I have it on the video.
Who's seen Forrest Gump?
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
Okay.
smells so good.
So
It does.
remember
I'm
the piece
videoing
of
you
Forrest
with
Gump
the
where
harness.
he starts to run and the brace breaks
Oh,
off and goes flying? So
Oh,
what our
yeah.
volunteers did in their previous life is they actually made all those braces, leg braces,
What?
or headgear for orthodontics and that side of it.
Wow.
And when they retired, somehow we lucked out and we got them to come here. So
Wow.
ultimately, harness-wise, we have strip leather shipped to us from Coastal. So it's just like an 1/8 of an inch thick. This is probably about 18 inches long. And then they're doing all the sewing and all the riveting, putting the harness bodies and handles together. So Hazel Park, for the people that live around here, used to have a racetrack for horse racing. And when they went out of business, they donated their leather sewing machine to us, and we are still using it, which is absolutely awesome.
Here's the leather sewing
It
machine.
is probably 50 years old.
Very old.
But it is amazing because to sew all that together. And then the other things that are really cool with this is, so I truly priced out. We can buy these pre-assembled, all made for us, but it's about $450 to get a harness and harness handle and body together. So with our volunteers doing it, where we're just buying the strip leather and that aspect of it, it's about $115 each one.
Wow.
So huge savings. And then past that, Coastal is where we get our leather from, and they end up donating it back to us. So it ends up costing us nothing.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is incredible.
It is absolutely amazing.
These
Well,
are amazing.
And it's special that it's made on premises,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's special.
Yeah. So again, with volunteers that know what they're doing and care about what they're doing, if you buy something at the store, that side of it, they don't care. So with our volunteers, they're shaving off the inside edge of it to make sure it doesn't rub wrong on the dog, and they're making sure that those rivets are rolled over, all those extra little touches of setting that up to be the best that it can be.
Truly made from love.
Yes,
Yeah.
Literally.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Handmade.
Yeah. And the other nice piece is we have had a few different clients,
Dad.
and I won't steal that from
Oh,
them.
you? Oh.
Unfortunately, one of our clients had a little bit of a problem when they're riding public transportation. Public transportation. Thank you. And standing back up, so ultimately had the dog help them get back up.
Oh.
So they did a specialty on that harness where it has an extra handle to help that client get up out of the seat and what they're doing.
So they can customize them if need be.
That is
Absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's absolutely amazing. The other thing that's pretty cool is
Those are the leashes too, right?
so the leashes we actually buy from Coastal,
Okay.
and they bring them in to us. But the other thing that's pretty cool is harness handle wise. There's 3 different types. This one's called an ergonomic, because when you stand there, you have a natural twist to your wrist, how you
Right.
stand. So the ergonomic handle takes that natural twist,
Can we
so you
feel
have that. Yep, and
Does
it
it-
squares the dog off to you
It has a curve,
without
kind of
dog.
curves. Or,
Yep.
So which one is this?
So
like
the ergonomic
slanted?
is in my hand, and I'll put it into your left hand
Okay.
so you can feel. So that's the ergonomic one, so you can feel that twist in there
Yeah.
compared to where they're at. And then so next
See it,
one,
Sherry?
so
Yep. I got it.
there's a straight, which yes, thank you. So the straight handle ultimately is, as I said, straight. So with that, this is most of our clients use a straight handle, but ultimately if they need, they'll switch it over. The other thing is sometimes you have tall clients. I'm 6'3". If I get a short dog, I need a different length on my handle piece of it. So it's making sure we get that right length on the handles that are using it. And then the last handle type we have is an offset handle, which ultimately in the handle it takes like about a 30 degree and it veers over about 3 inches
that's
and then comes back down.
Who's gonna use that one?
Usually somebody that has an outward gait when they're walking, so it moves the dog a little bit away from them so they're not
Joey, you
hitting the
should
dog
try the
when they're
difference of
walking.
the
Yeah.
So if you ever
ergonomic.
tendency of bumping into the dog or stepping on his feet, you'd use that?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
And then sometimes there's some clients that have a hard time balance-wise, and it can bring the dog in closer to you, helping with balance aspect of it. So you're primarily flipping that handle over and bringing the dog inward instead of outward.
Can I touch it?
Yep, absolutely. if I can find one.
I think she wanted to compare
Oh, the straight?
yeah,
With-
to
ergonomical.
Here's
Which is the best
straight.
handle for you, right?
This is the straight.
That's the
Yep.
straight. And
so the handle
typically
is
there's a-
straight across, and
there's
the
an
other
offset.
one was slanted.
So
I don't-
If that makes any sense.
I don't see that.
Was it ergonomic? Yeah, it's that one. I think. Wait, let me see. I'll get it for you.
There we go.
It's this one. So this is the ergonomical. This is yeah.
Good.
Oh.
So, and then
Feel
here's
how that's
the
slanted
offset,
in your
Yeah.
hand?
If you
Okay.
want to feel for an offset.
Okay, this is, okay, and then the offset.
Offset.
Oh.
Can I feel it?
Oh, yeah, what's that?
Where's the?
I'm just trying to get a feel for it.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, here, Norman.
Yep. Take my hand. Here's my hand. Take my
I
hand.
don't see your
Oh,
hand.
I got
I
it.
don't see your
What does
hand.
it do? It's just like.
So there's a bend in it, so that it actually move the dog
I
further
see.
away from you.
Okay, it just moves you
closer.
away from the. I see. Okay, here.
And then
Thank you.
one last perspective. So
Okay, here.
I don't know if we have any baseball or softball players in the group.
I used to be.
Okay, when you first get that glove, it stunk. It's all stiff and
Yeah.
you can barely
Yeah.
catch a
So
ball.
we used to oil it
Oil
down
it,
and
yeah.
try
Yeah.
to get it to.
Put a ball in it with a rubber band around it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
So harness handle wise, this is one that's been out there and been used for a while. It has that nice soft patina,
Yeah.
and that ultimately is what we all want as we worked with the harness handles. Same thing for team members. You do not touch a team member's leash in here because they're very quickly tell you, nope, that's my leash. I've been breaking that thing in for 10 years. Do not take that away aspect of
Oh,
it.
you got leashes here too?
Yes, we do.
Where do
Yeah.
they feel
So
like?
on the on the wall,
On the
we
wall.
have some leashes, and primarily these are repairs. Bring if you right there. Yeah. So that's a nice
Oh,
piece
no,
of
no.
having the tap room
He's-
team be able to help us out. If there is a problem with the leash, they'll repair that leash for us and re-rivet it for that side of it. So these are all
So what
repaired
size are
leashes.
these leashes?
They're 3 foot long, and then on there's an extra clip, and when you unclip off of the D-ring, it makes it 5 foot long.
Oh wow.
So
Okay,
when
yeah.
you're ultimately just handling a dog, you'll have it at the 3 foot length,
Yeah.
and there's kind of a little bit of rivet there. When you want to park that dog, that's when you're going to open it up and ask that dog to park, and you give them that 5 foot to circle around you
Yeah.
as they're going park in that aspect of it.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
okay, cool.
So cool. Yeah.
Thank you. This has been amazing.
So any questions?
No, it's just remarkable.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
Yes. Fascinating.
You can tell you've been in business for 85 years.
Yes. And with that, so I believe somebody we worked with Rod, right? Rod Hanlon?
Yes.
So Rod, he's been with us over 40 years. I don't know if he mentioned any of this.
I asked him, I said, how long you been around? He said, I've been here a while. He said,
Yeah, so he's been with us for 40 years. He started out as a guide dog mobility instructor, and he worked his way up. He was the chief program services officer. And then when he retired, he said, you know what? I want to go back to work as an O&M instructor aspect of it.
Yeah.
So that's the love when you think about
That
it. I mean,
is.
he truly
Yeah.
cares and loves the passion for the work. And with that, where else do you get that kind of knowledge of 40
Right.
plus years
Yes.
of truly running all of our programs and then coming back and truly just working with
That
our
says a
team
lot
as
about
it should be.
Leader Dog, yeah.
So, yeah.
They
and-
care about people.
Yeah, he's absolutely amazing.
All right, well, I'm going to end the video.
Mhm.
Sherry, where you at?
I'm right here.
All right, thank you so much for
Thank you.
giving us this great tour.
yes.
Thank
Leader
you.
Dog